Hey everyone, my name is Dave Pluff. I'm going to be your instructor for Art History 5, Survey of Western Art 2. And first off, I have to tell you there is a number change in the class. So Art History 5 is now like Art History C 1200. It is from the state of California. All the community colleges have to change this course designation. So if you're like, I signed up for C1200 and he's always talking about Art 5 or vice versa, that's why. So regardless, this is a survey of Western art. And it is a cool class because we get to cover both very traditional forms of art. Our class begins during the Italian Renaissance and also some early French art in there as well. And then we progress after the halfway point into the avant-garde, the modern material. So we're going to be looking at things like abstraction and cubism and fauvism and abstract expressionism, all the crazy stuff that we see. It is a wonderful class to take, and it is 8 weeks long. So that is so great because it's equivalent to a fast track class during this semester. So we're not trying to cram the material into smaller and smaller time periods. We are literally just having an 8-week class. So it's a lot of fun. It's very doable over the summer. What's important is to make sure to watch these videos. Every single week, I will put out a video that will walk you through the modules step by step. It'll tell you where to and where not to spend your time. So it's really important to watch these. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you over to the Canvas site. We're going to walk through the administrative materials module and then module 1. All right, here we are on the Canvas dashboard. Our class is right here, Art History C 1200. And this is an image of Van Gogh's painting called Irises. So that'll be our icon for the semester. You'll click onto there and you'll land on the home page. So once again, you have the image of Van Gogh's painting, a little blurb about what we cover in this class. And then beneath the banner, you'll have quick links to any projects that are coming due. So this is one way of finding projects. We have the due date of Sunday, June the 7th on these. The sooner you complete them, the better. Now, also I have you land on the home page because above the banner, you will have any past emails that I've sent out. Now, I'm recording this prior to class actually beginning, so I'm going to click over in the Announcements tab, and this will be the email that will come out to you first thing Monday morning. You'll get an email from me every Monday morning during this semester. So let's go to the Modules tab. The Modules tab is where you're going to find all the course material, and right now you just have access to 2. The first thing you need to do is get the boring stuff out of the way. You need to go through the Administrative Materials module. There you're going to find the course syllabus, lecture schedule, and late policy. You need to read through those. You can have those open while you complete the syllabus quiz. So I generally read through those documents and then jump down to take the syllabus quiz and get that out of the way and get some easy points as well. Other than the 3 most important documents here, we've got a link to campus resources, student support services, and a link to the library's website. Underneath the supporting information is a little information about Netiquette and also some information about me. That always stays at the very top. What will happen with the other modules is that the most current module will be at the top. So right now, module 1 is there. Next week, module 2 will open, and that information will be the most current and on top. So let's go ahead and take a look at what a module looks like. Now, everything's going to be set up in the exact same way. Up top, you're going to have a video that will walk you through the module. That's what you're watching right now. Then we're going to have an action plan. And the action plan is broken up into 4 sections. The summary, what I want to accomplish for the week, a list of lectures, a list of objectives, and finally, any assessments that are due. So right now this week, just the syllabus quiz and a welcome discussion board post is all that you need to complete. The journals, they get submitted in Module 4, but you do want to keep up with those as well, but they just don't get turned in until Module 4. So that's the top section. Then you're going to have a list of lectures, and this week we have two. We have the roles of the artist, and we have Italy during the 14th century. So I'm just going to jump up to the first lecture here. Here's our lecture. The next page is going to have our study guides. So we're going to have a study guide either as a Word doc, if you want to do that, or if you would rather prefer a PDF. Both are available to you. We'll take a look at the PDF here real quick. Normally what you have is a list of vocabulary terms, although this lecture is topical, so that's why you have the 4 topics of the roles of the artist. It's followed by imagery. In this case, the imagery deals with the 4 topics, but usually what happens with an art history class is that it's very easy to be overwhelmed with images. It's not uncommon for me to post maybe or talk about 100 images in a lecture. So what I do is I cut out about 9 or 10 images, and then those are going to be on the study guide, and those are usually what I'm going to test on. I've also got on this study guide specifically kind of directions on how to use the study guides, how they're intended to be used. So once again, vocabulary, images, and not everything on the exam is going to be found from the study guide. So just a warning there. The next section is the further exploration section. In the further exploration section, you're going to find your readings. Both of these are really short. And then any videos, website links, things like that that I can't embed into the lecture, you can watch from here. Some of them are really short, like the Spiral Jedi is only about 8 seconds long. Others are more about 8 to 10 minutes, like the Spiral Jetty by Robert Smithson and the Floating Piers by Christo. Our first lecture in the timeline is about Italy in the 14th century. So I'm going to jump down to the further exploration section here, our readings, and then our videos. And there's about 6 of them for this lecture. So focusing on the Annunciation by Martini, the Rucellai Madonna, and then the next 4 deal with the Arena Chapel in Padua that I talk about in the lecture. The last thing we need to do this week is also view a documentary, which is focused on the building of the dome on the Florence Cathedral, but also gives you a good idea of what life was like during the Renaissance. The documentary is here, so you can watch that. And then that's about 55 minutes long. And then you're going to have a study guide for this. This is going to be turned in as one of the journals this week. So we'll take a look at the PDF here for this movie. And what I'm going to have you do is fill this out. So you'll probably want to download the Word doc and type directly into that. But for this here, what I'm going to have you do is as you're watching the film, you're going to fill out information that you gain about these characters. You're also going to put down your thoughts and ideas. No outside sources are to be used for this. This is simply from you watching the film. And then we've got some narrators. This is a fully narrator-based film. And so what you can do here, there's not a whole lot you would put down about them. You might want to put down why they are the narrators. What expertise or experience do they have that makes them important? For instance, one of my friends, Ross King, is here. He wrote a book on the building of the dome of the Florence Cathedral. That's why he's important. And so you may want to put that down, or the title of the book, or something along those lines. More importantly, what you're going to be doing is giving some thought to these questions. Give examples from the film of the importance of art in Renaissance Italy. Provide examples of the support the Medici family provided to artists. how important was the role of the church to daily life, things like that. And again, all this information will be gained from the documentary. So please take the time to watch it. Fill this out as you are watching the film. All right, we're going to jump out for just a minute. I'm going to go down to the journals. You're going to have 2 journal entries each week. And so the first one deals with patronage. Patronage is a really big deal during the Renaissance. You just click on the article here, read through it, and provide a short reflection about information of what you've learned. It's a really good idea to cite examples from the article, particularly the artworks that are shown here. I'm looking for about half a page to a full page, double-spaced, of text. After that, we have journal number 2, and then that's going to be on the film. So this is exactly what I just went over. Here is a link to the film that we just saw on the Canvas site. Here is a link to the study guides that I just went through. So a few directions down here also to read through. And I want to go over the general directions for the journals as well. So for the journal instructions here, it's the idea that we are really kind of focusing in on some topics that we covered during that week of class. And so it allows you to do a little bit more in-depth work on those topics. And this might be, as you saw, a reflection from a reading. That's journal 1, completing a worksheet. That's journal 2. You may be asked to complete a very quick art activity, such as drawing shapes in linear perspective. I'll be able to show you how to do that later in the semester. Or focus research on a specific topic. Keep in mind, journals should take about an hour to 2 hours to complete. They're each going to be worth 10 points, and you submit them twice during the semester. Journals 1 through 6 get submitted in Module 4, and journals 7 through 12 in Module 8. The final thing we need to do this week, also something if you could do early in the week, that would be great, is the discussion board welcome. So just click here. Just introduce yourself. Tell everyone your name, what area of California you're from, your current area of interest, what stage of school you're in, and what I'd like you to do also, post an artwork. This does not have to be one that you necessarily like. It could be one that you dislike. You'd wonder what's the big deal about, like, the Mona Lisa, right? Anything like that is fine. I just need to make sure that you can post an image. Also here, if you've joined the class after the initial start date, so if you have added the class, gotten permission to add after June 1st, please email me so I can place you in one of the discussion groups. Otherwise, you're already in a group. There's nothing you need to worry about. For grading, 25 points on the initial post, 5 on a comment to another student. The initial post is due June 7th, comment by June 14th. An example of what I would have put down if I took this class right now, and I did back in the mid-90s. And information about uploading an image, but it's real easy to do that. You just click the reply button down here. You can type directly text into the box. When you're ready to put an image in, go to a new line, just like it is here. Click this button here, upload an image, and drag and drop into that section. Once you do that, you'll be able to click on the image, and on the corners you can make the image larger or smaller. This one is roughly 500 pixels across the top. Make sure to click the reply button, and that's all that you need to do. All right. I think that is everything. I know that was a lot for the first week. Please don't be overwhelmed. It is always best to work the modules from top to bottom. If you need, push the journals back another week. That is okay. What's going to happen is you'll have Module 2 and Module 3 built the exact same way, but Module 4 is where we just take the midterm. And so you have an entire week to take the midterm. This is when you can catch up on the journals. The journals will also be submitted here, but you do want to keep up with them as close as possible to the material, right? Because Journal 1 deals with Italy in the 14th century. Journal 2 deals with a documentary. So they are tied together. And if you do have any questions, please drop me an email. And good luck on your first week here for summer school.